Hi, class. Welcome to English 1301. I am Dr. Candace Cooper Reese, and I am your professor this semester. I am looking forward to having a fantastic semester with you. We have one major mission, and that is to explore our right for a cause topic. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see our classroom and get a sense of what to expect this semester. Again, our course theme is Right for a Cause, and we will talk about that over about 16 weeks, well, really 15, because we're not going to get involved with it until next week. To get started, we're going to do an overview of the class. So you'll find the video that you're watching now right here at this welcome note. It'll give you a little bit more information about me, a little bit more information about the course, a few course introductions. It'll lay out how the class is scheduled to run. We will also have an introduction to our labs for the Ruby Tree Writing Labs, which are You Ready for College and the standard Ruby Tree Writing Lab. The next thing that you'll find are expectations for assignments and grading. I'll just kind of bullet point it really quickly. I grade on what's called a grading cycle, which means that if you are working late and you have a shift that you've picked up at midnight, or it's extended beyond midnight and the assignment was due at 11:59. I'm not going to grade it at midnight. I likely will not get to it until the next morning. So you don't have to email me to say, hey, my shift ran late and I didn't get a chance to submit my assignment. You have probably at least the night of grace to work with. The grading cycle works this way. So my first online class may get graded at 8 a.m. that morning. My second online class may get graded at 10 a.m. that morning. I might not be able to grade the next one until 8 a.m. the next morning. And then the following one, 8 a.m. the morning after that, which means that you have time more than likely to get assignments in even after they are due. The problem is that you never know where you are on my grading cycle. So I may start with the very first class, which in this case would be section 901, and then move to section 905. But the next assignment, it may start with 905, and then we move to the next section 907, which would make section 901 at the end of the grading cycle. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it's literally a cycle, and it starts at different points based upon where we are in the semester. So I guess the long story short is you always have at least a few hours of grace built into the due date for your assignments. You have to, email me in the middle of the night and say, hey, my child is sick or something like that, and I need until 8 a.m. tomorrow. 9 times out of 10, you have until 8 a.m. the next day to submit your work. Other thing to consider is that short assignments, usually like discussion questions and things like that, are usually graded within the week. Essays or longer assignments like the annotated bibliography, longer quizzes, it may take 2 weeks to grade them depending upon how well the class is doing in general. Usually, if the assignment is wonderful, I give you a thumbs up by giving you 100 and we just move on, or a 90 or whatever you've earned. Those are super easy to grade. The ones that have problems, or students didn't follow instructions and they just kind of went rogue and just wrote anything, well, it takes me forever to give comments on things like that because I have to justify why they're not getting points. And so sometimes when that happens, it takes longer to grade assignments. So it's not me, it's the class and how the students have responded to the work. And if they've given it a lot of effort, it goes fast. If they've given it minimal effort, then it may take 30 minutes to grade just one person's paper. And so, that then will slow down the grading process quite a bit. So that's in general how things work with grades. Communication, email. Always email me through Canvas if possible. If you email me through Canvas, then that gives me your class. It tells me your name. I know exactly who you are. So I teach multiple sections of English 1301. So just saying, oh, from your English 1301 class does not help. I need to know what section number you're in, like 901 or 907, etc. So if you email me through Canvas, that information comes across and I know very quickly what class you're in, and I can cross-reference your email with you and all the things. With that being said, when you email me, give me as much information as possible. Do your best to read the instructions for the assignment and ask me something very specific to those instructions, as opposed to asking me general things like, well, I don't understand how to do the Write for a Cause research proposal. That does not help me because I don't know what you don't understand. So you have to communicate. If it's the introduction paragraph, you don't know how to write an introductory statement, you're not clear about the anecdotal part of it, or if it's a research question, you don't know if it should be an open-ended question, or if you could just ask a general question. These types of things really help me out. Offer me an example, a screenshot of something. If something weird is happening, all of those things help me to help you more quickly. There are some general FAQs. Before emailing me or reaching out, go to the FAQs to see if your question's already been answered. That gives you a very quick response. You're not waiting around on me to respond to you. And it also just helps for communication's sake. Next, first day of class, you will introduce yourself to your classmates. I'm gonna look at this assignment with you. Keep in mind that in this assignment, it asks you to include information about your educational background, current work, or career goals. The reason this is here is because this is going to be the crux of your Write for a Cause topic. Whatever it is that you put in this discussion question, you will be held to in terms of determining what you want to write about for your Write for a Cause topic. So anything you want considered as a potential topic, you should include it in your discussion question 1. All right. Next, so that'll kind of close out the first day of class. You'll also need to go through some of the institutional information just to know about your resources at Collin. For instance, if you need the Access Office because you have a learning difference, or if you need the Title IX office because you are expecting a baby, or if you have children, the Title IX office would like for you to check in with them, and so that you can, report that this is, the stage of the stage of your life that you're in, so that they can provide you with appropriate resources, as you go through this journey. You will need to reach out to them in order to have those accommodations in my class. So please, 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 if you let me know that you're expecting a child, that you have children, I will report that to Title IX, or I'll have you report it to Title IX to make sure that they are keeping track of you. This is something new, and this is something that we will all uphold. This information's in your syllabus if you need instructions on how to do that. So you want to make sure that you know how to operate Canvas. Little things like, if you see an airplane and you see a 0, that means that you submitted an assignment, but I've not graded it. So you don't have to email me and say, hey, why did I get a 0 on the assignment? If you see an airplane there, it means that it hasn't been graded yet. So learning the ins and outs of Canvas by taking the Canvas quiz will help you know those small details so that you don't, suffer with any anxiety about your grade that you don't have to suffer with. Another thing to note is that if I grade an assignment, I, for the most part, leave comments. The only thing that I usually don't leave comments on is the discussion question assignment. And the reason that is because the discussion board is really a conversation between you and your classmates, and I don't want to be involved as much as possible because it's supposed to be a safe space for you to share with each other. It's my responsibility to determine if you and your classmates have met the requirements for the assignment. Other than that, for some quizzes, there's no feedback because it's a multiple choice quiz, etc. But in general, for assignments, I leave feedback in the submission comments, and often in the additional comments, and often in the rubric. So you have feedback from me. So if you see a 0 and you haven't gotten any comments, it's highly likely that that assignment has not been graded. Next, library and research. I'm sorry, the Writing Center and the library. These are going to be your friends throughout the semester. You will need both of them as you work through our research part of our class. So both of these resources are available, and here's where to connect with them. A new thing to this class that has not been a part of my previous English 1301 classes is the Are You Ready for College Research Lab. The Are You Ready for College Research Lab offers you information on not just research, but acclimating to college. So, for some of us, we maybe have been out of college for a while. And for others of us, we maybe are just transitioning from high school into college. But whether you're a high school student or an adult learner returning to education, Are You Ready for College helps you kind of navigate the waters of getting acclimated to college. I'm very happy about this program, and I'm super excited that it's a part of what we're doing. So to access Are You Ready for College, you will follow these instructions. You'll need to create a lab at Ruby Tree Learning. You'll need to go in. If you have an access code that you purchased from the bookstore, you'll need to access or get that access code. At the bottom, you'll have a series of letters and numbers that you will place into the coupon code section at rubytreelearning.com, and you'll follow these instructions and you'll see exactly what to do there. For those of you who do not have the access code that you've purchased from the bookstore, and that will be, some of you, if not a lot of you, then you will go to rubytreelearning.com, and then you will, you can buy the lab there. Your first stop is to try to get it through the bookstore. If the bookstore's out, and often they run out, then if you're waiting and you get anxious about it, then you can always go directly to the website and get Are You Ready for College Research there. This is the same place that you will get the Ruby Tree Writing Lab, and so the same instructions apply. All right, and so you'll see the instructions for the Ruby Tree Writing Lab, and they will walk you through the same process, but you'll just get a different lab. These are not the same lab. There are two different labs. And so you need both of them for our class, because combined, they add a significant part of your grade, but also a significant part of the learning that we do in this class. All right. They're completely online. They're completely digital. And the cool thing about it is that it's YouTube based. So you'll be able to access videos in order to learn, and you won't just be beholden to a bunch of things that you have to read, because you have enough reading in this class. You don't need additional reading over there. All right. If you have any issues with accessing your lab, you can contact support at rubytreepublishing.com. You can also contact me. Regardless of what you do, you'll need to attach a picture of your access code to the email. All right. And so follow the instructions. They do work, and you should have great success. When you log into Are You Ready for College, you'll find that you have a lesson summary after receiving a little bit of content about the topic at hand for the day. And so, for instance, with this one, it's understanding the syllabus and meeting with professors and time management. So you'll want to, look at the videos that go along with it, read the content. It's very short that goes along with it. But if you're into skim reading or you're not into, paragraph reading, well, this is where it works, because you have these beautiful summaries that are made for you so that you can get to the content quickly. At the end of most of the lessons, you will have a short quiz. And they're super, 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 super easy. They are there mainly to make sure that you have attempted to pay attention to the information and you've taken away the tools and the skills that were taught in that particular lesson. All right. You can always click here, this link, rubytreelearning.com. It'll take you directly there, or you can click this picture. It'll take you directly there. And so you'll be able to get to Ruby Tree Learning that way. You'll see it pop up right over here. All right. Keep in mind, there's a disclaimer. Are You Ready for College is just for guidance. You're always to follow your professor's instructions. There'll be times when you will learn things from Are You Ready for College research, and then I will tell you, I want you to do it a certain way. So what you're learning for Are You Ready for College Research is mainly to give you an introduction to it, an orientation to it, some sort of background on whatever the skill is, but you need to always make sure that you're following my instructions because that's what you're getting graded on. All right, cool. So that is how the first week of school is going to work. We've pretty much covered the lot of it. As soon as my screen repopulates here, here we go. That is an overview of the class. If you notice, you'll have basically orientation to college with Are You Ready for College labs and your Ruby Tree Writing Lab. You'll start out with an overview of what you need to do. This corresponds with what we're learning the first day of class about the syllabus, setting a course calendar, emailing, office hours, asking for help, and all those things. You'll learn about how to establish good habits, self-motivation, which is going to be the opposite of procrastination, how to manage work-life balance, and how to deal with resilience whenever, things are going to come at you when you're in school. So just knowing how to navigate and manage that and remain in school and in the class and not, kind of just drop out because you're just overwhelmed with everything. The next thing is you'll learn about reading methods. So you'll do pre-reading, active reading, and post-reading. I actually get a chance to teach you these things in the Ruby Tree Writing Lab, and I'm super excited that you get a chance to take that journey with me through these skills because this is the one thing I offer to that lab. The next thing is it's a branch off of the Are You Ready for College in its older original form. And then here you will learn about college reading, so note-taking, annotating, methods for better comprehension, and this one especially methods for online reading habits. I strongly recommend, by the way, that you print off each page in the modules. And these guys are called modules, where it's a collection of pages. They're called modules. I recommend that you print these off so that you can take notes and have a hard copy of what you're reading, because reading from a screen is not quite the same as reading something that you touch. And even though I'm a tech person, I have to say that to you. So that's a quick digression, but please do print these off. Think of these modules as little chapters in a book. And so they all need to be read and they all need to be adhered to. The next thing, it talks about AI, the problem with AI and critical thinking, plagiarism, and an honest assessment of what professors think about AI. No, I don't show up there, but yes, I agree with what they're saying. It's going to be tough to use AI in this class. Students have found it far more frustrating to try to use AI with the way that my assignments are set up. They're not AI friendly. And so it's frustrating because the students think they're going to get a great grade because it's so beautifully written, and then they don't get a good grade because the elements that I require are not there. And so, just go ahead and write it. I give you structures and outlines and all kinds of stuff. Just follow the outlines and you'll be good to go. Next, you'll have an introduction to research concepts and everything else. And this is just this week, right? This is just at the beginning of the course. And then you get into the Write for a Cause topic unit. All right. And so once you get in there, you'll have an introduction to the Write for a Cause project. It'll talk to you about exactly what it is. There are a couple of things I want to point out. The Write for a Cause project is supposed to be a project that's about your educational experience, your workplace experience, or your career experience. One thing I want to point out, and this is very important for you to know the first day of class, there are certain topics that you cannot talk about. As much as you may want to talk about them, as much as you have to say about them, as much as they are very, 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 very important and fascinating to you, you cannot talk about them in this class. And they are mental health, anxiety and depression, suicide, bullying, domestic violence, abortion, divorce, sexual or physical abuse. For those who do, the Title IX office has requested that we report those students if they, overreach in some of these areas. And so we don't want that. I have to report things, not just to that office, but there are other offices throughout Collin that we have to share information with about you, specifically the student. I don't want to do that. You don't want me to do that. So please, 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 respect this boundary and do not cross it. Mainly because there are other people in class who have to read your work. And so we don't want to trauma bond or traumatize anyone who's been through a very difficult situation. Keep in mind that this is in your syllabus, which is a contract between you and I. And so I'll go into detail about these off limits topics. So as you're thinking about what you want to talk about for your educational experience, career experience, or workplace experience, please do avoid mental health, depression, anxiety, burnout, stress, work-life balance. Students have really towed the line with these. And it usually leads into a conversation about mental health. And then they are very frustrated with me when I tell them that they cannot go forward with their topic or their essay and they have to rewrite things. And it just causes so much anxiety. So we don't want that. I don't want you to be anxious and I don't want to be anxious either. So please just don't do it. Another thing is that students sometimes tiptoe into forms of mental, emotional, spiritual abuse. Thinking that they're not talking about physical abuse sometimes or domestic abuse, but you cannot talk about any form of abuse because, again, we don't know what triggers other people. Suicide, nothing about suicide, nothing about mass shootings, nothing about lockdown drills, nothing about bullying, harassment, nothing about domestic violence, nothing about abortion, nothing about divorce. Keep all of that away from our Right for a Cause topic and our time together. Please, please, please just focus on what we're here to do. And that is to talk about educational issues, issues with one's career or workplace environment, things like money doesn't lead to these things for the most part, things about compensation, things about processes and communication, things like that in order to discuss your Right for a Cause topic. Keep in mind, graphic writing, you cannot write anything graphic. We will have an opportunity to write an anecdotal introduction where you'll need to tell a story and you'll need to use description, but you cannot use anything graphic, please. Because again, we do not want to re-traumatize anybody by writing something that is, harmful to their mental health. Choose something uplifting in ways that you can make the world better with your topic. That's the goal. All right, and that's it. All right. You will do a lot of peer review in this class. So you want to make sure that you are mindful of what you're writing and what you're sharing because there will be several people who will have access to this. You will move into the next video with me where you talk about, well, I will talk to you about brainstorming your Right for a Cause topic. And so I will end my diatribe on this point at this time. And actually, I don't really believe in long videos anymore. And so with that being said, I'm going to end this one. It was nice meeting you. Welcome to the class. I look forward to knowing you and sharing with you and spending time with you. You'll write an annotated bibliography, a preliminary bibliography. You'll write a research proposal, and you'll write an analysis assignment using the Mythology and Belief textbook that is included in your Ruby Tree Writing Lab. I have a lot of videos in here and a lot of content, so I can't cover it all today or else I will be talking for the next 2 hours and you don't want to hear it and I don't want to do it. I'll see you next time. It's nice meeting you. Thank you.